From the planet's extreme environment to potential underground habitats, here's how alien life could be on Mars, but Earth rovers might not be able to find it. The first reason why alien life on Mars has yet to be discovered is the planet's extreme environment. Because of its distance from the Sun, Mars is really freaking cold, like negative 220 degrees Fahrenheit cold. The average temperature is roughly negative 81 degrees. Like New York City, winters on Mars are unbearable. While temperatures typically remain freezing cold on Mars, it can get up to a sunny 70 degrees in the summer. It seems improbable that anything could exist in such bipolar conditions, yet there is reason to believe there is alien life on the red planet. Like Jeff Goldblum's Malcolm said in 1993's Jurassic Park, life breaks free, life expands to new territories. Painfully, perhaps even dangerously, but life finds a way. Aside from Malcolm's quip, it's hard to believe we're the only ones out there. The problem is, we just might not be able to find it is all. The extreme environment on Mars takes its toll on the rovers we've sent over, and the machines are prone to wear and tear thanks to the planet's super thin atmosphere. Fierce windstorms are a common occurrence, and they can cover the entire surface of the planet. It's abundantly clear that the severe environment can cause technical difficulties, which makes it increasingly challenging for rovers to do their job. If aliens really are out there, they might be fooling our rovers. Another issue on Mars is visibility. On the red planet, visibility is super low, and the planet's challenging conditions make it nearly impossible to detect signs of alien life. And if aliens do exist on Mars, do you really think they want to be discovered, only to be experimented on in some top-secret lab and turned into a pet project at Area 51? I don't think so. Alien life on the red planet may have simply evolved to camouflage itself. Let's not forget, Mars's atmosphere is composed of carbon dioxide. As far as we know, carbon dioxide is a big no-no for sustaining life. But that's only as far as we know. If there are aliens on Mars, they could defy all of our previous conceptions of life and might have adapted to the inhospitable conditions. For now though, let's shift our attention to the possibility that life on Mars consists of microbial life forms. Almost 50 years ago, we discovered that Mars once had water on its surface. And there's life in virtually every pocket of water on Earth. So there's reason to believe that life did exist on Mars. Rovers were sent to probe all areas where water once existed, but NASA's Viking leaders failed to discover any trace of chemical compounds on the planet. Even the most recent rovers couldn't find organic molecules in a soil sample. After several years of searching, it's time to start questioning whether the rovers on Mars are capable of getting the job done. And we may have to accept the fact that alien life on Mars might be too small for our current rovers to detect. We're all familiar with the traditional depiction of aliens, but what if they were microscopically sized? As technology continues to advance, the question to discover traces of alien life should be easier than ever. And even scientists are beginning to question if our current technology is up to the task. Rovers stationed on Mars may not be sensitive enough to discover microscopic forms of life. A recent study conducted on Earth's oldest desert in Chile tested the equipment we sent to Mars, and scientists concluded that our rovers may not be able to detect low-level organic matter. The leader of the study, Armando Azua Bustos, claimed that the rovers sent to Mars have their limits, and they may never be able to detect such forms of microbial life. We are yet to encounter a large organism on the planet, and we have reduced our search to mere molecules. But now, scientists have finally confirmed that there could be microorganisms out there that our equipment fails to identify. A crucial blow in the search for aliens on Mars. Technological hurdles aren't the only issues that scientists need to overcome. There's another obstacle that's far more basic and poses several problems. Money. Mars rovers are expensive. Not only are they costly to manufacture, but launching them costs an astronomical sum. It's estimated that each rover costs $2.2 billion, and it costs another $500 million to launch and operate them. That's a whopping $2.7 billion per rover. Thanks to all of you American taxpayers, Earth has sent 5 rovers to Mars. $13.5 billion spent thus far, with a very questionable return on investment. Despite the obscene costs, There are many largely unexamined areas on Mars, so alien beings could be kicking back, hiding in plain sight, and maybe even enjoying a few cold ones just waiting for us to show up in their habitats. Who knows? Although rovers have roamed Mars' surface for decades, we have barely scratched the surface in terms of exploration. The gargantuan costs of building and launching rovers are likely what's holding us back in our quest to discover alien life. Another thing holding us back in our quest to find alien life on Mars is their unknown biochemistry. We could be searching for something that we're completely unfamiliar with. Should aliens exist on Mars, their genetic makeup might be composed of chemicals, compounds, or molecules that we don't even know exist. Our perception of life is very rudimentary. We're only accustomed to life as we know it, on the luscious green planet Earth. But what if alien life on Mars goes against everything that we know? All 5 of the rovers we sent to Mars use similar methods to search for alien life that scientists use to discover life on Earth. Seems pretty stupid if you ask me. If alien life on Mars is composed of undiscovered biochemistry, it won't be easy for rovers to detect. Rovers could be regularly overlooking undiscovered molecules and organisms, and there doesn't seem to be an easy solution to the issue at hand. Thanks to the numerous years it takes for rovers to travel back to Earth, tinkering with current technology will be a lengthy process. The rovers currently stationed on Mars are estimated to return by 2033, meaning it could take another decade before we can upgrade our current approach. And by using the wrong techniques, we may be missing out on discovering alien life. If we're unsuccessful, scientists will have to come up with new methods to discover potentially unknown substances. Finally, alien life may exist in underground habitats, because the surface on Mars is quite similar to deserts on Earth. Like life in Earth's deserts, many organisms have adapted to living underground. Avoiding the freezing temperatures on Mars isn't the only benefit of living below the surface. The red planet's covered in craters and prone to violent sandstorms. Sounds like the perfect place to avoid living above ground. With such a challenging environment, life on Mars may have been driven far below the surface. With conditions above the ground less than ideal, alien life forms could have adapted to survive underground, where the environment is warm, cozy, and far more hospitable. Aliens native to Mars may have only lived below ground from the get-go. If that's the case, rovers may never be able to detect life on the planet. As we know, Mars was once home to large lakes and rivers. Despite the evidence, we've only been able to discover small traces of ice, and any potential underground habitats may only have access to water trapped under the planet's surface. Who knows what else they might have access to? An underground environment on Mars could have the resources necessary to sustain life. An exciting, yet terrifying thought. The only solution to discovering these underground habitats would be to drill into Mars' surface. Remember how much it costs to build and launch a rover? You can confidently quadruple that number, and add another $1 billion on top of that to build a drill capable of operating in space. I'll bet that designing a gravity-defying space drill alone would cost more than a glorified Wall-E. Mars' atmospheric pressure is only 1% of that of Earth's, and that makes it difficult to fathom drilling on Mars. Because of the planet's low atmospheric pressure, water would simply boil on the surface, supporting the argument that alien life could be residing in underground habitats. It seems we won't have an answer to whatever life exists below the red planet's surface for a long, long time. So from potential underground habitats to the planet's extreme environment, that's how alien life could be on Mars. But Earth rovers might not be able to find it.